from the Lumberyard in Pullman, this is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is presented by the Lumberyard. They got something for everyone at the Lumberyard Food Hall in downtown Pullman. Now, alongside Cougar head coach Jimmy Rogers, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
At the Lumberyard here in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Football Hour. Here we go. On tap, the team on the road heading to Fort Collins to take on Colorado State. Matchup on Saturday, 4:30 kickoff. Our coverage here on the Cougar Sports Network will begin at 2:30. And we've got a great bunch of guests here tonight. Pat Cashmore, special teams coordinator. Ryan Harris, Cougar punter, kickoff specialist, joining us as well. And we are joined, as always, by the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. Here we are, another Thursday night. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, and we've got some football to recap. We've got some football to preview. We've got our guests to talk about. But one thing that happened away from the field that is obviously very serious, a player having a tough situation is Sone Falialo. How's he doing? I know that's something, there's the game Saturday, then quickly your attention gets turned to this. How's he doing? How's the team doing with everything that unfolded there?
Yeah, the team is good. Sone's good. It's an unfortunate circumstance. You don't want anybody to go through that. But he's kind of rebounded from it, and has good spirits. Was at practice last night watching, and I think it's good for him to be around the team. But he's a good kid, and yeah, it's just unfortunate because nobody should go through that. But it does put life into perspective because it could have been much more serious than what it ended up being. And he's blessed, to say the least.
Well, so great to hear that he was at practice, and we're all thinking about him and as speedy of a recovery for him as possible.
He just attended practice. He didn't participate.
Well, that's what I meant. Well, that's what I hope it didn't come across that way. That would be, yeah. But him, just for the teammates, I would imagine, to see him. And
when he walked into the team meeting room, everybody was happy to see him, and he's kind of got a charismatic personality, so everybody was just excited that he was healthy. And it was a long night Sunday night for sure. Just the overall emotions of the weekend, and then for that to happen, and it kind of just, you kind of put your feelings aside about what you feel about a game, because here is a kid that is suffering something so serious like this, and his family's nervous, and obviously his teammates were really worried about him. There's many of us in the hospital, so I'm just happy that he's okay. But yeah, it could have been much worse.
Well, again, so happy that he's doing well in the reports that we're getting, and that he has all the support from you and everyone with the program. And shifting gears to the football side of things, that last game was the Apple Cup on Saturday. Just a razor-thin margin right there, neck and neck, into the fourth quarter. UW able to pull away in that fourth quarter. The Huskies get the win. How do you look back on the Apple Cup?
Yeah, I think there was areas that we improved at. Surely offensively, we had a little bit more rhythm in the game. There were things that, looking back at it, we know that we needed to do better defensively. We didn't play our best performance, and we got to be able to get off the field on defense no matter who you're playing. We'll have another tough matchup this weekend versus a good offense, but I think a little bit of the ability to respond on offense was a highlight just consistently. They didn't really force us to punt either until the fourth quarter, and we had an opportunity until the end. We just didn't execute well enough to make the most of it. Many of that portion of that game was a one-score possession, and the onside kick gets criticized, but at the same time, that was something that we felt like we needed to do to have success inside of the game, just how we were playing defensively. Not necessarily that we don't believe in the defense. It was something that was already pre-thought, that when our offense scores, we had the look that we wanted, that we had worked all week, and we felt good about it. We just didn't execute it.
You talk about the offense for Zevi Eckhouse. It was his first start of the season. What was your assessment on how Zevi played?
Yeah, he played well, and he played composed, and he gave us a spark that was needed. He's got great command as far as his overall belief in his own ability. For him, to be put in a situation where he wasn't the starter and then come in and then play like that, I felt like since the North Texas game, obviously, he played kind of really well he had some turnovers, but those aren't all on him. There's a tip ball in there that he might have thrown a little too high. The defender got a great punch on the ball, and then the fourth down, play is he's trying to make something happen with pressure in his face. If anything, we need to do a better job collectively as a whole team, not having him have to make all the plays in which he was trying to make. He was a large part of how we were able to stay in it, because he was able to make plays with his legs and hit moving targets on the move. And there's so many areas that we need to continue to progress and clean up in order to be the team that we want to be, and we're working at it right now.
How much, you mentioned his legs, how much is that in his mobility? How much of just a shot in the arm is that a little bit to have that, what Zebu provides when it comes to his legs?
Yeah, I think it's a really big deal, because then you don't need to play perfect up front, right? And to be able to move out of the pocket or set the mark deeper in which he throws the football, it surely helps our O-line. And keeping him on the move and then having the option, because he's athletic enough to take hard yards and run it himself. That was huge. The quarterback run game, when you're +1 in the run count to certain looks, that's an advantage to the offense. So the more we can kind of implement just his overall scheme into the offense and have success moving the ball down the field, whether it's him in the pocket, him out of the pocket, or him running the football, overall it makes it much harder on a defense.
It was an impressive Cougar debut for Devin Ellison. What allowed him to make that splash? And I'm sure you're hoping that's just a preview of what's to come, of what he provides to the team.
Yeah, Devin's a great athlete. He's got great hands. A lot of times it's just him progressing in the offense, of him understanding where he's supposed to be. And overall, the rep count that he took, he was really productive, and we hope that continues. He's got a ton of skill, and he's finally healthy, and so we're excited that he can take the next step moving forward. In this game, hopefully he takes even a bigger jump.
When you were running out of the tunnel, I know we talked last week, you've heard all about the Apple Cup. When you were running out of the tunnel, you looked at the crowd, you felt the buzz, you felt the atmosphere. What was that like, getting to experience your first Apple Cup as the Cougar coach?
When I got here, and everybody talked about not just the Apple Cup, but game day experiences, is really what I envisioned. A packed house with a passionate fan base and a sea of crimson. I thought it was awesome. And I think if we want to continue to have long-term success, we have to find a way to continue to fill the stands. Hopefully, selling beer in the stadium helps us in that sense. But I would say more than anything, when we have recruits on campus, they want to play for a fan base in an environment that is like that. So, that could be our advantage. Where we lack in one area, we may make it up in just the overall experience and how people feel about coming to a game, because ultimately that's what players really, really care about. And if they care about things outside of football, then maybe they're not the biggest fit, because this is a close community, and the people here are genuine, and there's like a close-knit family atmosphere just here in Pullman. But if we can connect those two things together, the game day atmosphere, the experience in which people have, it can not just ignite Washington State football, it can also ignite the community of Pullman, which I think is extremely important.
It was a bit of a tough game for dealing with injury issues on the defensive line. How is it adapting with some of those guys not being available, who are really key Cougars? Yeah,
I think the guys that stepped in, did a good job for the most part. There's, some errors here and there, just like how there always was, but obviously some unexpected injuries, especially one prior to the game and then one halfway through the game. And for Max Balloon, it's a really unfortunate circumstance that, you never know when you're playing your last play. So it's important that you play every play like it's your last play. And he was kind of an epitome to that for us, a kid that's really locked in. And, he's right at that 4-game mark that we're hoping that we can get a medical on him if he desires to come back an additional year. Now, he may be like 27 when he comes back, but we would surely take him back, because he's a great leader. He was voted a team captain for a reason, and he hasn't even been here for that long. So he's a committed kid that if that is the course in which he wants to take, we'd gladly accept him back. And then he knows there's a long journey ahead as far as the rehab and the overall work that needs to be done to be the player that he was being.
Well, I think WSU fans would love to see him back in crimson and gray. So fingers crossed he has a speedy recovery. And however the path goes moving forward, it would be great to see him back here as a Cougar. 14 different WSU players who caught a pass in that game in the Apple Cup. I think of one in particular, Bo Baker. What a way to have his first career catch. He gets a touchdown in the Apple Cup. That makes for a very memorable first career catch for him.
Yeah, and he's worked really hard to recover himself. He had a torn ACL as a true freshman, and the small glimpse that we had saw, we felt like he was going to be really special. I'd been at a place that has had the opportunity to produce NFL-type players, and he was one that we feel like is only scratching the surface on what he can become, and to see him work really hard in the offseason to get his body back underneath of him, and then finally, see some light as far as his improvement and have that opportunity. I think that's pretty cool, especially in front of that type of atmosphere.
Tucker Kraft, Dallas Goddard, that's high praise with some of the guys you've been able to be around.
Yeah, those guys were special, and honestly, you could see it really early on with all of those guys, whether they were playing or not. You saw the traits, the athleticism, their length, and their physicality, and I do think Bo is in the infant stages of what he can be long-term here.
That is the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers, joining us here on the Cougar Football Hour. A reminder, Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. Stay tuned for more information on how to become a Rewards Program member. More with Jimmy Rogers after this timeout. Again, still to come, we'll have special teams coordinator Pat Cashmore and punter kickoff specialist Ryan Harris dropping by as well. We'll take a break. You're listening to Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal, book telehealth if she feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent, in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Download the WSU Cougars mobile app today, which features the latest news. Plus, it's your way to stream all of our Cougar Sports Network radio broadcasts. Listen to Cougar football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball game broadcast, plus coaches shows, all for free with WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Available now by searching WSU Cougars Game Day in the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. Back here on the Cougar Football Hour with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. And Coach, before we get into our guest and talking about who'll be stopping by on this week's show, speaking of stopping by, it was great to see who raised the flag before the Apple Cup, to have a great Coug back in town. Bill Doba spent so many years on the staff, and then, of course, his time as the head coach here at WSU. I saw there was a picture with you and him. I know that's not the first time that you had the chance to meet, but how was it getting to visit with him before the Apple Cup?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, he's a genuine person. When I met him in the spring prior to the game, it was probably a longer time in which we talked, because he came in and just, shooting the shit for a little bit, and it was probably like 40 minutes of him telling me stories and things. But I enjoy those, a guy that's kind of lived this and understands what it is, and then had an opportunity to meet him and his family at practice on the Friday before, and then to see him up there. I think that's really cool to be honored like that, and he's well deserving of it.
Well, and just getting to be in my spot in the booth with Alex Brink, and those two guys have so much shared history, and just knowing how much Coach Doba means to Alex Brink and to all those players who got to work with Coach Doba. Just neat to see him and his family back in town. And our guests here tonight, we've got Special Teams Coordinator Pat Cashmore stopping by. Tell us a little bit about the special teams coordinator for the Cougs. What does he bring to the coaching staff and to the program?
Yeah, Pat's been with us 2 years as a special teams coordinator, this being his third now here with us. A really high-energy guy that can kind of give life to special teams. Not everybody wants to play or envisions playing special teams when they get recruited. They envision being the starter at their position or a wide receiver, and someone's got to play on special teams. And so you got to have fun with the guys in the meeting room and make it light and have energy, and he's always been able to do that. And you got to be able to keep people entertained as they take on, what is a huge role, but it is like, a lot of what special teams is the effort and the energy and the focus that you have for what is really a longer play than a typical football play, just because there's more yards to be running around the field and stay engaged. And he's always done a really good job of teaching our players, and then our players feeling comfortable to come up and be mentored by him, or just come in and feel like they can talk to him at any moment. And so there is a connection piece there for us as a staff that we believe Pat does a great job. So I think we're still just in the infant stages of what we're going to really become here on special teams.
Ryan Harris, our player guest, he wears a number of hats, including as the punter, as the kickoff specialist. How great of an asset is he? And I'm sure when you took over the program and you see a leg like he has and you inherit him, that's got to be a nice thing to know that that's someone, okay, this is a weapon here that's available. Yeah,
honestly, he's a really confident kid that has a really athletic skill set. It's kind of what we look for in all special teamers, especially the kickers, the ones that just don't have a good leg, because usually if you're already developed out of high school at kicking, your ceiling may be not as high, but when you're a great athlete and you play many other positions like he did out of high school, and then he was a safety for his junior college. So when I first saw him, I was like, man, maybe this kid should play a different position. And then watching him kick, he's got a live leg and works really hard at it. The one thing I would say is he's worked really hard to try to develop the skill and the timing of punting, and I still think that his best is yet to come on this season on what he can do, because he's got a really live leg. You can see it on kickoffs, and he can punch us as well. So I'm really excited for his future, because it's bright.
Well, Coach, we're excited to talk with both of them. We'll let you loose for now and bring you back on to preview Colorado State.
Awesome, thanks.
Again, that is Jimmy Rogers, the head coach of the Cougs, here on the Cougar Football Hour, live from the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. A reminder, check out the all-new Inside WSU Athletics podcast. Each week, hear straight from WSU Director of Athletics Ann McCoy, as the podcast will take fans inside Cougar Athletics with all the latest news and information, including interviews with Cougar coaches, student-athletes, alumni, and staff every week. This week, our latest episode that just dropped yesterday. Check it out. Go to the WSU Cougars YouTube page or search Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform. You can find it there. We had Deputy Director of Athletics Ike Ukebu stopping by to talk NIL, and also Todd Schulenberger, WSU soccer coach, talking about how the season has been going for the soccer team. So check that out. Again, it's the Inside WSU Athletics podcast. We'll take a break. More from the Lumberyard after this. You're listening to Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Winning a new GMC Canyon at Northern Quest is not without its drawbacks, like jealous neighbors, unsolicited questions about towing capacity, and sudden requests to help move a couch really quick. But something tells us you'll get over it. It's Northern Quest's $160,000 Grander Canyon giveaway. Don't miss the grand prize drawing this Monday with Dave, Ken, and Molly. Plus our Canyon Tailgate pre-party with food and drink specials starting at 2. Only at Northern Quest.
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes every moment cheering on your team even better. Plus, the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is Rocky Mountain cold. So you never have to guess if your Coors Light is ready to drink. So crack one open, take a sip, and enjoy the game. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Cougar Football Hour rolls on. We are back here live at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. A reminder that you can listen to every Cougar football game and coaches show for free on the WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Download the WSU Cougars Game Day app today. Find it in the Apple App Store or Google Play. Well, we're excited to welcome in WSU Special Teams Coordinator Pat Cashmore. Pat, thanks for being here tonight. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well, it is great to chat with you, and here you are, year one in Pullman, part of the staff. How has life been here on the Palouse?
It's been great. When I took the job, my wife was 9 months pregnant, so that was a crazy time in our life, but got them up here in April, and Pullman's been amazing, small community, and got my wife working, and we just loved it, so it's been great.
I feel like we had a similar conversation with Jesse Bobbitt when he was a guest, that his wife was just about due, and that it was be a crazy time no matter what, let alone you throw in a new member of the family.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Ron Pavlik, our babies are 2 days apart, born both in Brookings in the same hospital floor. And so, yeah, it's been a crazy time, but I'm glad I'm doing it with Coach Rogers and the staff, and it's been a blast.
Is this kiddo number one?
Kiddo number one, Penelope Cashmore. Yeah, she's a rock star. So, love it. Girl dad.
I'm sure mom is a rock star, too.
Yeah.
How's fatherhood so far treating you roughly? Let's see, how many months into it are we?
8 months.
8 months?
Taking it day by day, trying to figure it out,
What are the big milestones right now?
We're crawling, so that's been a lot of fun. And then she's got a great Cougs outfit every game day, and so I enjoy seeing those for my wife. And so it's been a lot of fun.
That's great. Okay, love to hear it. Well, we're talking a little bit of your personal life, Pat, and how busy you are away from the office and away from the field. Take us through your football journey. How did you get started in the game? How did you get started in coaching, and what ultimately led you here?
Yeah, I played my collegiate football at Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri. Big Chiefs fan, the best team in the NFL. Everyone knows it. And then I played college football at Drake. My head football coach is Chris Creighton, and he helped me get started. So I went to a small NAIA school in Midland University, Fremont, Nebraska. It's actually where I met my wife. She worked at the school as well. And then from there I went to Iowa Western and became the special teams coordinator and the DB's coach. And from there, spent 2 years and then went to Toledo. Had a great time working for Jason Candle. After that, I worked for Mike Gundy. So it's been a weird week for me in that sense. But Coach Gundy gave me a great opportunity to be the special teams coordinator as a graduate assistant. Then after that, I went to Pittsburgh State University in Pittsburgh, Kansas. A lot of people don't know about it, but it's home of the Gorillas. Spent 3 great years working for Brian Wright. And then got to work for Coach Rogers in Brookings in South Dakota. And so every stop, what I've learned is people make a community, people make a program, and that's really what matters. Not necessarily the logo, although we got a really cool logo here at Washington State with the flag and all that, but the people is really what makes the football program, and that's why it was a no-brainer when Coach Rogers asked me to come. I was definitely going to follow him, is just because I believe in the relationships that we're building. I believe in the culture that we're developing, and it's all about growth, and we are getting better every day. And why I love working for him is I got to be at my best, and that's what he expects from me and our staff. And so we got to continue to go 1-0 in every day that we work. So.
The next home game for the Cougs is against Toledo.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of Cougar football between now and then, but the next time all the folks will be able to be here cheering on the Cougs at home at Kisa Field will be against Toledo. What's that game going to be like?
Yeah, that'll be really awkward. I haven't gone against them, but hopefully they lose that game. Obviously, we go 1-0. That's what I care about. But it'll definitely be weird, them being on the other side, being a former Toledo employee. But it'll be all right. So.
As far as the special teams side goes, is that what you knew you wanted to kind of really focus on when you started out in coaching, or is that just the way things unfolded?
Yeah, I was a running back in college. I know I don't look like it, but I was a running back in college. Thought I wanted to be on the offensive side or the defensive side, and when I was at Iowa Western, I kid you not, 2 guys resigned. I walked in and there was a stack of playbooks on my desk, and the head coach said, "You're the special teams coordinator." So I had to figure it out, and the best way to figure it out is just experience. And so really thankful for Scott Strohmeyer giving me that experience, allowing me to fail. And that's really where I found the passion for, is just giving the kids the ability to make plays on special teams. So a lot of times we have guys that might be a non-starter, and so how do you get acclimated to the game on special teams, the speed, all those things. And then the biggest thing that we try to create is, we want to make big plays. We want to flip the field. We're not just here to get the ball back. We want to create big returns. We want to create blocks. We want to flip the field with punts. And so just trying to create an identity and have fun with the guys and say, hey, you can make a difference in this. And so that's kind of how it's kind of come about.
Well, we'll get to talk about some of those guys coming up. We'll take a timeout. We'll dive into some of those special teams standouts. We're with Pat Cashmore, special teams coordinator here at the Lumberyard on the Cougar Football Hour. We'll take a break. More after this. This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
As proud Cougs, we always find our way back home. At McVeigh Brothers, we want to help all Cougs improve the value of your home. Hello, I'm Mike McVeigh from McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. The team of professionals at McVeigh Brothers take great pride in helping our customers remodel their homes with new entry doors, rain gutters, siding, roofing, and windows. At McVeigh Brothers, we're working for you.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
Hampton and Pullman is just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with a new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonbyHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
This is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is presented by the Lumberyard. They got something for everyone at the Lumberyard Food Hall in downtown Pullman. Once again, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at the Lumberyard on the Cougar Football Hour. Colorado State, the opponent this week. Cougs on the road heading to Fort Collins. 4:30 kickoff. That's Pacific time. If you're joining us there in Fort Collins, 5:30 local. Derek Dyson Company will have our pregame coverage getting started on the Cougar Sports Network at 2:30 on Saturday. Here with special teams coordinator Pat Cashmore. And, we have this over the radio, but we also have the video element. For those watching on video, Pat, they can probably tell you have a nice nice smile, but I think that's no accident. You mentioned that you and your wife have a young daughter. You have a busy job, but your wife is pretty busy as well. Can you tell folks what she does?
Yeah, my wife's a dentist here in town at Johnny Fisher, and so she's a DDS, and she works Mondays and Wednesdays, and so, she's extremely busy as well, and so if you need your teeth looked at, she can do that for you.
Well, how about that? Were you together when she was going through dental school, or did you meet her after that?
Yeah, so we actually got married, and then we lived apart for 6.5 years. She went to dental school, and then I kind of chased the dream of becoming a college football. So a lot of people called us crazy, but I knew the amount of studying that she would do while in dental school, and so we just supported each other, and any break that we had, we went to visit each other. So, yeah, we were married for 6.5 years, lived apart, and so it's been great. And so just the support from her and I support her, she supports me, and so it's been great.
That's incredible. Those are two very demanding careers between you and her, and that's awesome, and great to hear that you have a young daughter at home as well. We'll get into the football side of things. Special teams, there's a lot of ways we can jump into special teams. Let's just talk about this for kicker, punter, long snapper. How are those competitions coming into this year as we get to see Brian Harris, who we'll talk to coming up, and how well Jack Stevens has done? But I know that's not all of it, but that's part of it that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing that's probably impressed me the most with our specialist room is just the guys' willingness to work, right? So Ryan, for example, punted in junior college. Kind of when he got here, he didn't punt with the old staff, but he's a strong kicker, and he's done great at kickoff. But, man, we really challenged him to develop himself as a punter. And, man, the amount of work he did in the summer, it's really paying off. And I think his best days are ahead of him. He's got such a strong leg, but he's a very intelligent football player. And then I think a lot of people don't highlight he is an unbelievable holder. And so for a lot of people, they just say, hey, the holder got the ball down. But the hold is so important to the field goal, and why Jack has had so much success is because he's a great holder, and a lot of people don't know that is he does an unbelievable job holding. And so Jack's done a great job. He's really been committed to the weight room and working, and they do a great job of working. And then on kickoff, I mean, we've had 18 kickoffs and 16 of them been touchbacks, so it makes our coverage look really good when you don't have to cover anything. So I feel like we haven't been tested yet just because of the leg strength he has, but he's doing a great job of location and all those things. And just, again, their willingness to work. I think that's the biggest thing as a football coach. You just want guys that want to get better, that want to grow, and understand that, like, hey, this is what it takes to be the best, and that's what we have to do. And so we're very fortunate to have that room.
Jack Stevens, a lot of credit goes to him. He's 6 for 6 on field goals so far this year. Of course, everyone remembers the game winner in the opener against Idaho. I know he's not new to the staff, but he hadn't had a lot of actual experience. I believe he had one attempt at South Dakota State. I mean, he looks pretty comfortable out there, and I know Coach Rogers told us the story before that there was a vote. You might know where I'm going with this, and about most confident, and he voted himself most confident. And you like that in any player, but your kicker, that's a nice fit.
Yeah, he's a confident guy. But I think when your preparation is very intentional, that kind of makes a lot of guys confident. I mean, if you look at Michael Jordan, you look at Kobe Bryant, because of the work they put in the gym and in the weight room, I think it makes guys, when they go to the game, really confident. And so I think when you put the work in, it makes you more confident. Where the opposite, if you haven't put enough work in, man, you're going to be very nervous when you get to that game. And so I just think the preparation and the work that they put in this summer has been unbelievable. And so, especially as like a specialist, like when we go to the field, we're kicking into a net. There's no one shagging the footballs. We got to go get it ourselves. It's not like a quarterback where you're throwing it to a receiver and they can throw it back to you. No, we got to walk 50 yards. We got to go get those 2 balls. We got to walk all the way back. So it's a lot of work in the dark that people don't see. And so it's unbelievable what they do.
Those are the specialists, and highlighting them, we'll talk to Ryan Harris coming up. But as far as the guys who are involved on special teams, and as you said, and I think maybe Coach Rogers was touching on it, maybe that's not how the first thing people envision when they come to college is that they're going to be highlighted on special teams or maybe thinking of their specific position, but it's so crucial to the team. Who do you want to highlight for doing a good job when it comes to special teams?
Yeah, I think guys like Leighton Smithson doing a great job, Hudson Cedarland doing a great job, Parker McKenna, he plays on punt, but as a starter at linebacker, he's just the willingness to go out there and cover a 40-yard punt. That's really tough when you're about to go out there and play a unexpected amount of snaps. And so excited for those guys. And then, we're still developing those core guys. And so I'm excited to see what names I say in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And so we're still trying to build that identity of toughness, of accountability, of toughness. So that's a big thing. We want to build on toughness. So.
Well, that makes sense. And this game coming up against Colorado State, anything particular about the Rams when it comes to preparing from them from the special teams perspective on what this matchup is going to be like Saturday?
Yeah, they do a good job of seeming complex, but they do a lot of things, but they do it very simple, if that makes any sense. And so they provide a lot of pictures of what they're trying to do on punt or kickoff, but it fits in the realm of their scheme of what they're trying to accomplish. And so we just got to be disciplined. We got to do our job. We got to play tougher for longer. And if we can do those things, I think it'll be a good outcome.
Pat, it's been great visiting with you today. Thanks for stopping by, and of course, good luck to you and everyone else coming up on Saturday and the rest of the season.
Hey, thanks for having me. Go Cougs.
Again, that is Pat Cashmore, WSU Special Teams Coordinator, dropping by on this week's edition of the Cougar Football Hour. A reminder, the Junior Cougs Kids Club, it is presented by Toyota, is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars, and it is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at WSUCougars.com/JRCougs. Well, still to come, we will have WSU punter, kickoff specialist, and holder Ryan Harris dropping by, and then we'll be rejoined by the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers, as we have a preview of Colorado State, and we'll get to some of our listener questions as well. You are tuned in to the Cougar Football Hour right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
The post-crib assembly press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, you saw the outcome.
Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You've got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Okay, text from the wedding planner. She's talking about a cake pop mural.
Ah, exciting.
Ooh, it's $8,000.
Oh.
I don't know, we're trying to save for a house.
Well, you only get married once. Or twice. 3 times tops.
There's a lot of bad money advice out there. For knowledge you can trust, come to Gisa Credit Union. Whether it's saving for the wedding or everything that comes after, we can help get you where you want to be. Find a healthier approach to money at Gisa.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Chris King back at the Lumberyard. It is the Cougar Football Hour. Washington State gearing up for Saturday's road matchup against Colorado State. Kickoff in Fort Collins at 4:30. And we're excited to welcome our player guest this week, Ryan Harris. As we've touched on, a guy who wears a number of hats: punter, kickoff specialist, and holder. You're a busy man, Ryan. We appreciate you taking time. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Okay, well, year 2 is a Coug. You started last year as the kickoff specialist and then ran into some injury issues, and then now you're back for year 2. It's a new staff, and there's a whole lot more on your plate, which I'm sure you love getting the opportunity to be more involved. How is it this year having a more expanded role?
It's great. Obviously, a kickoff. I'm pretty used to doing that. It's probably my favorite thing to do. You kind of just go out and smash the ball.
And you do a great job of that. Pat Cashmore was 16 out of 18 touchbacks. Yeah. That's awfully impressive.
Yeah, thank you. And then holding is kind of a new thing that I've picked up. We needed a holder because our holder last year obviously transferred. And I think I picked that up pretty fast. I used to be a receiver, so catching the ball is pretty common for me, but spinning and having the ball at that spot is definitely a new thing that I had to kind of get way more consistent at to make sure that Jack can kick the ball the way he does. And then punting, obviously I did it in junior college, but it wasn't really something I really focused on. I was always more of a kicker, and then obviously, as Coach Cash said, they kind of challenged me to make sure I was getting more consistent at that. And I think I've done a pretty good job, obviously, as they both said. The best is yet to come, and I truly believe that.
Your background, you're from Canada. You're from Vancouver, British Columbia, but pretty early on in life, life brought you to the U.S. Can you walk us through when you came to the U.S., where you've been, and then ultimately going the junior college route and ended up here as a Coug?
Yeah, so I was born in Vancouver, Canada. Lived there for only about 3 years, and then my family moved back to San Jose for about 3 years as well, and then moved over to New Jersey for about 4, and then we finally ended up in San Diego, where I spent about 16 years of my life. So pretty much grew up in San Diego. And then out of high school, I went to Boise State as just a student. I kind of thought football was out of the picture for me. I was never really highly recruited out of high school. And then I had a conversation with my parents, and we kind of just decided that I would give this whole football thing another shot. I was always good at kicking, but I never really focused on kicking. Being a receiver and safety in high school, I was good at it, but I never really want to say I was a kicker, because just that mentality, I was a receiver and safety. But I came back, started training again with John Carney back in San Diego, and he got me a lot more consistent and a lot stronger at that area, and then reached out to my San Diego Mesa coach, and he said they would love to have me, and then had a great season there, kicked off, punted, and did field goals there. I did the long field goals, and then got called up over here, and rest is history.
John Carney, for folks who might not recognize that name, a great kicker for the Chargers, so that had to be a great mentor to work with.
Yeah, he was awesome. He helped me a lot on the mental side of it. There's a lot more that goes into kicking than I think a lot of people realize. Just going out, and you can miss-hit the ball a little bit, and you're missing, and then the whole stadium hates you because you have to make it. But he helped just kind of calming the nerves before you go on to make a kick, and then kind of realizing what the process is throughout the whole kick. So I think he was really good for me.
And you were just a student at Boise State, which is nothing wrong with that, but I mean, there's not many people that you probably talked to in that locker room who went from high school to being a student and then saying, hey, how do I get my path back to go this way? Yeah. Does that give you kind of a unique point of view and a unique outlook, just knowing that, hey, you kind of had to look at the opportunity and go, hey, I'm going to fight and scratch and claw my way to potentially be here? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, like you said, you don't hear it that often that someone is out of football for 1.5 years and then they end up going to Division I. And there's a lot of work that got put into it. Obviously, I have a bunch of friends in Boise that I probably wouldn't have had before if I was playing football there, or if I started training again earlier. But I think it's definitely a great experience to go and kind of be just a student and have that life, and then come back and start playing football again. Well, with that, I'm sure you're doing great in the classroom. Can you tell us what's keeping you busy in the classroom, what you're studying? So I'm a sports management major. I graduate this December, and then hopefully I'll be starting my master's again, or after the semester. That's fantastic. Master's in sports management? Yep. That's great. That's great. Okay, well, hopefully you've got a lot of great games and years in front of you in a Cougar uniform, and your leg takes you as far as it can go. Yeah. But whenever that time comes, that football wraps up, what are you thinking to how to put that sports management degree to use? I love golf, so I'd like to do something in the golf realm, whether that be like a club pro or manage a golf course, or if coaching has something to do with it, then I would love to stay in the football area. That's fantastic. Well, it's great having you as a Coug, and I really enjoy seeing your expanded role this year and your success. Ryan, thanks for being here, and best of luck Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Again, that is Ryan Harris, punter, handles kickoffs for the Cougs, and also the holder, joining us here at the Lumberyard on the Cougar Football Hour. We will take a timeout. When we come back, we'll be rejoined by the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers, as we have a preview of Saturday's opponent, Colorado State. This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
RV buyers, it's a fact. Valley RV Supercenter is America's #1 volume Jayco store. And as their volume leader, Jayco keeps them supplied with all the models. Let's just say they have what you're looking for. Jayco Class A, B, and C motorhomes, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and travel trailers, including the best-selling trailer in the world since 2005, the Jayco J-Flight. And they all come with the best warranty in the industry. Go see them in Kent or visit ValleyRVSupercenter.com, where journeys begin.
As proud Cougs, we always find our way back home. At McVeigh Brothers, we want to help all Cougs improve the value of your home. Hello, I'm Mike McVeigh from McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. The team of professionals at McVeigh Brothers take great pride in helping our customers remodel their homes with new entry doors, rain gutters, siding, roofing, and windows. At McVeigh Brothers, we're working for you.
Alliant Employee Benefits is the Inland Northwest leader in employee benefit consulting and brokerage. Alliant is a difference maker, providing employee benefit solutions and problem solving while helping companies grow and protect their business. Alliant keeps its clients on the forefront of the benefit industry's constant evolution while improving the benefits experience for employees through better health outcomes and more cost-effective care. Give Alliant a call and see what they can do for you.
Your audio home for all things Cougar Athletics is the Washington State Cougar Podcast Channel. Just search for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to follow and subscribe to the official podcast home of the Cougs. Hear our original WSU Athletics podcast, plus replays from the Cougar Sports Network, including football pregame and postgame show coverage, full football game broadcast, and coaches shows. Find it all by searching for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to start listening today.
Back at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman, it is the Cougar Football Hour, and it is time now for the opponent preview presented by Coors Light. Choose Chill, proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly. Let's dive into this week's matchup. We are rejoined by the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. Okay, Colorado State, the opponent. What has stood out most, Coach, when studying the Rams and gearing up for this game?
Yeah, I think this is a really competitive football team. You know, they have some experience at the O-line position. I think they do a really good job with developing players. I do think that the left side of their line is really long and talented, and you can see just how they've been able to progress throughout the season. Very similar to us in a situation of who we played in the non-con, obviously, and kind of where they were at with quarterbacks, and now they're playing the kid that wasn't also a starter to start the season. We've been able to see them both, obviously the starter for 3 games, and then watch Brosser come in and play really well. So, yeah, it will be a challenge for sure. I think they do a good job with skill on the perimeter. They do a good job of running the football and having some RPO elements off of it. The wide receivers do a good job of making people miss, and then they have kind of a mismatch as far as size and length at the tight end position, a big 6'8" tight end that can really high point the football. So there's things that we need to be alert for when we're on defense. They play at times with 2 quarterbacks on the field, and Taj Bullock is a really dynamic player that has started his career at different spots playing quarterback, but they've done a good job at finding a role for him because he is such a great athlete. And then defensively, I think they do a good job up front. They got some physical players that can hold the point of attack really well, and some real speed on the edges to be able to play man-to-man. So the Dylan Phelps kid, I think, is a dynamic player for them in the nickel position. And so we got to find creative ways how to get our guys into position to have success and make the most of their opportunities.
Couple of highlights for them. They've got, right now, statistically, the top tackler in the nation, sophomore linebacker Owen Long, averaging 12.7 total tackles per game. And then, circling back to the quarterback position for folks who maybe haven't followed the Rams as closely, for the first time since the 2023 season opener, Colorado State, it will not be Braden Fowler-Nicolosi at quarterback. He played in that last game against UTSA, so maybe some Coug fans, after the Apple Cup was done, able to tune in and watch Colorado State play. They had that night game. They end up making the switch to Jackson Brusso. He came in the fourth quarter, and they came just an eyelash away from winning that game. What's it like in the week we're in now, the fifth game of the season, and going up against a quarterback that there's what he did in the fourth quarter, but there's not a lot of film on him outside of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing with technology these days. You can find all of the players' clips and be able to look at where they're very skillful at, or maybe you think that you have an advantage, and it's not just this situation. We kind of watch everything collectively as far as scheme to who are we going against, and try to find as much film on every kid individually, skill set wise, to see what maybe they're the best at. And so Jackson played a little bit, had more reps, not necessarily more reps than what he plans on taking now, but there was some reps from last year in there that we were able to see his arm talent. And obviously they felt good about making that move because of how he progressed down the field. And what was he, 10 of 12 on the last drive? 10 of 12. Yeah, and really efficient with how he managed the game. And so I think, in a clutch situation when you're kind of thrown into the mix like that, and for a player to just respond, it says a lot about just his preparation and how much they believe in him as a player.
4:30 kickoff Saturday in Fort Collins. Cougs against Colorado State. A reminder, a programming note on our end. Well, this game against Colorado State, that leads us into the first of two byes. So we'll have no Cougar Football Hour next week when it's a bye for the team. It's a bye for the Cougar Football Hour. But we'll be back the Thursday before the Ole Miss game and the Thursday before every single Cougar football game outside of that last one, because it's the week of Thanksgiving, and our Cougar Football Hour will be on Wednesday that week when the Cougs take on Oregon State. We're here with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. We'll take another timeout. More with Jimmy Rogers after this break. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the L.S. Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. For your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Piri, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
Shorts.
Back at the Lumberyard in Pullman, it is the Cougar Football Hour. We are here with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers, and we've got some listener audience questions. This one from our guy, Matt Kylo. Who decides what uniform the team wears every week? I know there's a lot of anticipation each week when the uniform combination gets unveiled. Who gets credit on that front when it is? There's no bad look for the Cougs, but every week I know everyone's excited to see what the team will be wearing.
You know, in the past, I've always let the players pick it because it's something that they look forward to, but I'm pretty sure that it's JP and Milton in the equipment room. They have everything kind of planned out, not just for week to week, but for a whole season. And so they're in cahoots with our marketing team and what we display prior to the game. And so what we wear, I don't care. How we play, I do care. So I'm kind of more consumed with those things.
That is fair. And JP and Milton, they do such a great job, and they've been doing it for years and years and making everything happen. Those guys are really the straw that stirs the stick for so much of the operation.
Yeah, they're awesome, and they got great energy, and it's just great to be around people that have a prior history of this whole place and how things work. And I couldn't ask for a better group of equipment people down there, that's for sure.
Yeah, well said. How is it? This is the second road trip. How is it? Maybe it's exactly the same, but you come to a new program, a new school. How is it going through that first game on the road? I would imagine it's just kind of a different operation, and there's just different parts of that where you go.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's that much different. You spend so much time with the players, so there's already it's not like it's awkward, and we're just figuring out where we're meeting and how we operate. Obviously, we have a system of what we're going to get done, and a lot of these things are talked about prior to even traveling. But at the end of the day, we're going there for a reason, and it's to win a football game, and our guys to have a business-like approach when we go down there. As far as it being a road game, it's not like it's that much different. It's just you're playing in front of their fans in an electric atmosphere, and it's something that I know our guys enjoy as far as the thrill of playing in front of what should be a great crowd there. Had the opportunity to play there in 2021. It's a great venue, and the fans were rowdy, and our guys embraced it in 21.
Going to be a fun atmosphere. Fort Collins, Saturday, 4:30 kickoff. Okay, Coach, we've got just another minute here left. The Mariners last night clinched the AL West. Back on July 19th, you threw out the first pitch for Coug night. The Cougs beat the Astros in that game. That was a heck of a win, and helping them to get the AL West. How was it, throwing out the first pitch for a Mariners game?
Yeah, it was cool. It was my second or third time doing that, but the whole night was great. It was a great game, went into extra innings. My family was there to experience that. J.P. Crawford ran over and gave my son a ball that I think he turned like a double play on or something, and my son was jacked and continuously watches. We got him a big dumper jersey, and so he was super excited about that.
We like to hear that. Okay, well, a lot of good Mariners baseball and Cougar football for your son to cheer on here moving forward.
Yeah, no doubt.
Again, that's the head coach of the Cougs. Appreciate the time. Coach, go get him Saturday.
Thank you.
That is Jimmy Rogers. A big thanks to Jimmy Rogers. All of our guests tonight, Ryan Harris and Pat Cashmore. Zane Saggio back in our Cougar Sports Network studios here on site. Jerry Kylo on the audio side. Jared Pringruber on the video side. I'm Chris King signing off. We'll talk to you next Saturday, 4:30 kickoff. Cougs in Fort Collins taking on Colorado State. 2:30 our coverage begins. We'll talk to you then. Go Cougs. You've been listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.